Hi, everybody. Welcome to my channel. This is the Basketball Wives, not necessarily review because I already did the review from this last episode where Jackie low-key should have mollywopped Chantel, but we only saw her kind of swing at her because the girl was pushing her. I don't want to focus on that, the review aspect of it, because I already did it. Go check it out so you can find out what happened in that episode that everybody's talking about. Now, since everybody's talking about it and Evelyn Lozada is being quiet about it, there are several other people that spoke on it, to include Ming, Moniece, and Bondi. I think used to be one of my favorite commentators too, that I usually watch, as well as y'all watch me. So I'm gonna talk about it in this video. So let's get into it. So Chantel has since seen the internet buzzing about her behavior on the show, aka including me, speaking about her disrespect, her continuous disrespect toward her mother, and ignore my hair because my hair still needs to be redone. I never got to do it before going to Hawaii, and the girl that does my hair is enjoying her little carnival cruise. I'm waiting for her to come back on that cruise so she can have fix these edges. But so far, I don't care. This is just what I have. I got kids. This is the best I can do for y'all. But anyway, Chantel has since seen what everybody's saying about her on the internet and how she has presented herself on the Basketball Wives franchise and what she basically looks like to a majority of people, viewers, millions of viewers. And her motive kind of backfired of trying to embarrass her mother and make her mother look bad. She ended up looking crazy. So she now came out and said this. I'm going to read from my phone because the writing is here a little bit too small. She said, I'll start by saying if you've never dealt with a toxic mother, then you truly have no idea what it feels like. As painful as it's been to watch these moments of my life play out on TV, I know my younger self is proud of the woman who finally stood up for herself. The truth is, this dynamic isn't rare. It happens in more families than we'd like to admit. Narcissism, jealousy, lies, lack of accountability, gaslighting, abuse, hiding, assault, etc. We're just taught to keep it in house and suffer in silence. I chose to break that cycle. What you witnessed was a masterclass in narcissism, someone lighting the fire behind the scenes, then walking away as you look like the arsonist. I know what really happened on and off camera all season long, so no, the internet cannot bully me into submission. Y'all know the TV character. I know the mother. She touched my arm. I pushed her off of me. She swung, plain and simple. It's unfortunate things played out this way, and I wish it never happened. But if you knew our history, then you know this was a long time coming. Let me repeat that. She touched my arm. I pushed her off me. She swung. Okay. I may not be proud of all of my choices this season, but I'm also not ashamed. This is my real life, and I doubt anyone judging me lives a perfect one. I see the hate mail, I see the judgment, but I also see all the messages that say I've dealt with this too. This reminds me so much of my situation. To those of you with heart and understanding, I see you and I appreciate your vulnerability. To those of you who've met me with threats, vile statements, and extreme judgments, may you never understand my plight. Celebrating my darkest moments say more about you than it ever will about me. I've always been misunderstood. And this chapter of my life is no different. But I will answer to God, not imperfect strangers who've never walked a step in my shoes. I'll keep my head up and my peace and focus as I continue to grow as a mother, a wife, and a woman. Are you high? Okay. She mentioned several things, and I'll put this message apart. She used narcissism, jealousy, lies, lack of accountability, gaslighting, abuse, hiding, assault. All of those describes her actual behavior on the show. Chantel's behavior, not necessarily Jackie's behavior. All of these words she used is a direct description of what Chantel did while she was in Basketball Wives. Now, I want to be very clear here. Nobody is saying that Jackie did not do anything incorrect or wrong or egregious as a mother to Chantel. Chantel is so daft and slow that she's not understanding that we do not believe that you came on this show to fix things with your mother or to get a better understanding or to heal. We, the viewers, saw you come on this show with a ulterior motive to make your mother look a certain way on the show, to get people to kick your mother off the show by picking sides. And you said hidden assaults. What she said is her mom touched her arm and she pushed her in response to her touching your arm. The woman who you touched her uterus for almost 9 months in her belly touched your arm, and your response was to push her, hence, you got swung on. What we saw as viewers is you nitpicking. There is the real issue that Chantel keeps saying. I live with a crazy mom. I live with a mother who was abusive emotionally. I live with a mother who was. Nobody is denying that you experienced that. What people are saying is your behavior in this franchise was egregious. And you came on this franchise for the sole purpose of destroying your mother. And it is not a good look for you, because it looks like to us everything that you're complaining about your mother and what she did to you, here you are exhibiting the same behavior on national television, on her own show, on a show she works for. That's your mom's job. Basketball Wives is your mom's job. She made some of that money, and some of that money was when she used to take care of you. Because when you came to the show and you spoke, y'all remember when Jackie first brought her kids to the show, there was a scene with Takari, Chantel, and Jackie and a therapist. And I think it was Takari that was speaking about how her mom would tell her she wasn't good enough, and how she breathed too loud, and how she was this, and third. Meanwhile, she told Chantel, you're skinny, you're beautiful, you're light skinned, you're this, you're that, you're everything perfect, you're this, you're that. That was what we saw. Then there was a scene with you, Chantel, and Laura Govan, where you spoke to her and you said that your mother used to pit you and Takari against each other by comparing you. Takari was the ugly one, you were the beautiful one. We saw you admit this. And does that mean that Jackie did right by you or treated you well? No. What we're saying is, what you've been telling us and what we've seen is that the daughter who got the most and brunt of what Jackie's bad parenting would be was your sister. That same sister who's now saying on internet that the way that you came on this show is wrong, because you don't go to your mother's workplace and cause problems on her show. Call her, we saw you call her a bitch. We saw you call her goofy. We saw you scream at her. We saw you antagonizing her, telling her you better walk away. We saw several instances where it didn't seem like you wanted peace or that you wanted to heal. You're behaving exactly the same way as what you claim your mother does to you, and you're exhibiting it on national television. Two wrongs don't make a right. And what I keep telling y'all is, I'm a child of God, and she mentioned God. And if you're gonna mention God and said that you're gonna, well, I teach you use the words, I'll answer to God. The Bible says that you are supposed to honor thy mother and thy father, that your days be long. It's not honor thy mother and thy father because they were perfect and did everything right by you. The honoring them is for your own sake, your own healing, your own heart, and for you to grow and do better. Because what you're doing, Chantel, is you're creating a generational curse, because you're exhibiting the same behavior that you complaining about. There is no saying that because I saw this in you and because you did this, something like this, you better pray to God that your daughter does not turn around and do the same thing to you. Because this is it. You came on this show under false pretenses. Why would you even come on this show in the first place? What was your goal of coming on this franchise in the first place? This little thing that you just said, it doesn't help your cause. You need to go talk to a therapist and you need to heal from it, because what we saw is somebody that was malicious and vindictive. Yes, somebody that's hurt. Yes, but what you did was you poked somebody and you kept poking and poking and poking and poking. Whether Jackie was wrong in the past, you were wrong in the present, and you got your ass beat. Let's go to the next one. So we get to Ming. Ming has now seen the episode that we were talking about, the one that she had commented on. And I'm sure she saw several other episodes as the viewer to figure out why most people online is now going off about what they saw. And Ming said this. Let me find it on my phone so I make sure I read it very clearly. She said, Jackie, I'm going to keep it real. After watching last night's episode and thinking back to how everything played out in real time, I owe you an apology. If anything I said or did came off offensive. That was never my intention, and I'm truly sorry. I was under the impression you swung first, and that shaped how I saw it. But watching it back, it hit different. I don't condone violence at all, and it was hard to watch. As a mom, I understand where your emotions were coming from. Anybody in your shoes would have felt the same. This whole situation reminded me to stay out of family business and focus on my own damn business. I really do hope y'all can heal from this because this was tough to witness. That part, there is some humility when you can come out there and say you made a mistake and that you spoke too soon and that you did not see the full picture and that you basically fed into what Evelyn and all these other heifers were trying to say to get you to go against Jackie. I never said that Jackie wasn't a shitty mother to her children in some ways, but what I'm saying is what we saw, if we're just speaking on Basketball Wives season 12 alone, what we saw between Chantel and Takari, not Takari, Chantel and Jackie. Chantel is 1,000% in the wrong. She behaved like a brat. She behaved like a spoiled child. She was very disrespectful. She felt entitled. The camera started rolling. Her mouth went left. She has a disrespect mouth on her. Care what I do, right? As a mother, I'm a parent. And I've had parents. Chantel's complaints, where she was saying that she always felt like she had to be perfect. Her mother wanted her to be perfect, and her mother will bully her. I experienced some of this at the hands of my parents. I'm Nigerian. We're raised in a very strict environment. You are not allowed to get anything but A's. If you come home with anything but an A, hell, my father used to go to school and parent teacher conference day and grill my teachers as to why I have a minus next to the A. Somebody was close to a B. She needs to work harder. And the teachers will look at him like, sir, it's still an A. He goes, no, remove the minus. It's not supposed to be there. Like that is how my parents were. And I would go home. You had to do chores. Your punishment was they don't care if you cried tears of blood. It was what it is. And as a child, I grew up disliking my father. We didn't talk for a very long time as a parent to child. He was very strict, and I was very scared and uncomfortable. When I got older, I started to understand certain things, right? First, he wasn't going to spoil me because I had to figure out how to work hard. Two, this environment and this country that we live in, for certain people of a darker hue, you don't get the same concessions. So being perfect and try to be the best at what you're doing is the only way to get yourself far in life. So there was extreme, you have to be perfect, you have to be perfect, you have to be perfect. Jackie seemed to dote on Chantel because this country also had the light skin epidemic. Light skin is the right skin, all that. So it looks like she wanted Chantel to fit into the mold of what this country would accept as okay. And then Takari got the shitty end of the stick. For you to be sitting here now doing this, it almost feels like a child that was spoiled because your father made a lot of money. Your father stayed married to your mother for a number of years, and your mother also said that her grandma was in the house when y'all were growing up to also help take care of you. She provided what she thought was best in her head. I don't think Jackie deliberately tried to treat you like shit as a mom, but what you displayed here in your effort to relay to her that there's some things she did as for to you as a child and growing up that hurt you, this was not the way to do it. The way you did it was foul. It was wrong. And it didn't come off as somebody that wanted healing. It came off as somebody that wanted revenge and wanted to get your mother off the show because that's the last thing she has. Is this is what makes her money now. So Moniece joins the chat. Okay. Moniece Slaughter, completely different franchise, Love and Hip Hop, joins the Basketball Wives chat. And this is what Moniece says. Before I pick it apart, let me just read it very carefully. Takari Lee said, she doesn't even know our mom. And Takari Lee was responding to another scene that I'm going to talk about, where it looks like in the last episode, after the first argument between Chantel and Jackie, where Chantel was telling her you can't bully me. This is why the kids don't like you and your husband is gonna leave you. All the stuff that she was saying, and Jackie was walking away. She ended up going to the room to talk to Denise and Brittany. And Brittany had a lot to say about Takari's mom. So Takari was saying she doesn't even know our mom. If she did, she would only try to protect her. She didn't deserve to be done like this on her platform. That's all I have to say about this. And Takari didn't necessarily call Chantel out her name or even say anything bad. She just said, my mom didn't deserve for this to happen this way. And this is coming from the person that wrote in a book that her mom mistreated her the worst, is saying this. And that should tell you something. So Moniece now responded, now Takari, you doing a lot, sis. At one point, this was you, and we all defended you too. You was hollering neglect, and that you two were a victim of Jackie. So I guess I'm a little confused. If you're not going to talk about it, don't talk about it, because you sure did go through the comments and respond to dang near everybody to talk about it. Laugh out loud. And it was your mom first. Now it's your sister. So if you're going to address anyone, address your sister, because let's also be clear. Was it not you that posted something after one of the episodes aired and nobody reported on it until your sister addressed you publicly, just as you done her publicly, but we never saw your response to her response to your initial public shade out that slash outreach? Takari now responded, Moniece Slaughter, everyone keeps saying they are confused. That's because it's my business. Laugh out loud. Also, you've never seen me attack my mom. The only reason you know about me is because I was spoke about by the cast for years. What you saw was me defend myself against claims of being a con artist and scammer for having a GoFundMe for my hurt child. The internet and the show took my son's accident and made it about a donation. I didn't bring this info to y'all. My book was my side of what y'all seen going on. Another thing I said what I said. My mom wouldn't be out here facing the world alone if they all left or whatever. I did not speak on their fight. That's their issue. I addressed what I wanted to. Have a good day, sis. Moniece responded, I wasn't referring to your GoFundMe or your son's accident. While I do remember that being a source of contention, what you said were things very similar to what your sister is saying about your mother, about size, deflection, etc. You even said that she ostracized you because of your complexion, and it was brought up and pushed to the forefront because the world was shocked about the GoFundMe. And then Jackie brought it to TV. So all I'm saying now is that while it is your business and your family, you wrote a book, and your sister made some pretty strong allegations. And so I would think that if your goal is to genuinely heal, then you'd address your family, not us. That's all. And I'm speaking from experience. So all I can say is that healing doesn't happen on the internet, but the tough conversations that the world is not made privy to, more often than not, will get the job done. Heart face, or, heart. Takari responds, at Moniece, all I can say is, I know Chantel speaks for me a lot, but she's not my advocate. So I came on here last night to clear that up for y'all. I don't hate anyone, and if someone feels alone in this world, my heart would feel obligated to be there. That's just who I am. I wish nothing but an abundance of peace and healing for them both. At Moniece, Takari said this again, I don't have that much hurt in me. You saw me address my mom in the first couple seasons of the show, emotionally, calmly, so no, I wouldn't have seized an opportunity to hurt Jackie. That's your heart and your mentality. Can't put that on me, sis. At Moniece, again, Takari saying, also, ma'am, Chantel and Brittany were addressed. You must have missed it. I waited on live for them to come confront me with their allegation and speak to some folks that had their own allegation against her. They didn't come. So I don't even think Moniece should be speaking on this, because Monique's parenting has already came under question years ago, and Moniece had an issue with them. I think she went after Brandy that came on the show, the little short one that wouldn't shut her mouth up, with people telling her that you don't parent your mom, and her mental health became a cause for the reason why she sometimes drops the ball in taking care of her son Cam. I do not think that this is I don't think that this is the best platform for you to speak on this, Moniece. I just don't think so, because of the things that people have said about you in the past when it comes to your own situation as a parent. But what I'm also saying is the daughter that you're addressing is the daughter who has already seemed to heal and have dealt with her own issues with her mother the correct way. The girl didn't come on Basketball Wives and try to make money and use her family's drama and air out her mom and talk about how her husband wants to leave her and how all her kids hate her. She didn't do none of that. She wrote a book to kind of heal and get it all out of her system. She had a counseling session with her mother. She has since come and she's admitting that if you read Takari's own thing, that her mother is feeling alone, and if there was nobody on this earth that was here for Jackie, she would still be there. And that should tell you something. She also mentioned that the way that the mentality here that Chantel is using is she didn't ask Chantel to speak for her. And Chantel shouldn't use what happened to her for her own storyline. Because while Chantel has talked about Jackie doing certain things to her, it seems like what Moniece is clocking Chantel says is what happened to Takari, not Chantel. Like there's so much to unpack in this situation. I don't think Moniece, you should top this or you should say something in this form. Commentators and reviewers are one thing, but I don't think that you should go after the actual person who lived with Jackie and knows more than you do. That don't make no damn sense, girl. Okay. Then we get to this particular incident that actually created the reason why Takari even said anything, right? Is that she saw the little clip. I don't know if I can find that clip again, where after the fight, the first argument, they had gone to Chantel had gone to Brittany and Denise's room to give them whatever version of reality um she thought happened, or to give her her own tidbit. And as they were talking, Takari had mentioned, I can't find the clip, but Takari spoke on that. Basically, Brittany having such a harsh opinion on what, or opinion, or everything, or a lot of harsh things to say about Jackie when she don't even know Jackie. So Takari had commented and said, she doesn't even know our mom. If she did, she would only try to protect her. She didn't deserve to be done like this on her platform, which I've been saying. That's all I have to say about this. And you had Brittany's dumb self go on here, say something like, at Chantel Christie, at Denise, I've been on IG since 2012. You can't bully a bully. Laugh out loud. I love us. You are a bully, bitch. I mean, at least you admit what you are. You have Ming, who humbled herself and came here and said, I saw things wrong. There's some things I saw that doesn't make any sense to me. There's some things that are just better left. Just I should have just stayed out of it. I shouldn't have even commented. I shouldn't have even saying something, because now I'm going back and I'm watching it, and some of the things I thought happened the way that that Chantel said it didn't happen the way that Chantel said it. So I'm gonna play a clip of the video just so you guys can hear it. Rushing to tell her, like, you can't bully me anymore. You can't make me feel insecure and uncomfortable. Like, you've always projected your insecurities on me. You've always wanted me to be a sample model size. You've always wanted me to be this perfect person. When I was a kid, I experienced so much at the hands of outsiders, and I never felt safe sharing that with my mom. And I feel like in the moments that I did, it was more so, you're lying. That couldn't have happened to you. So much of what happened to me when I was younger could have been prevented if she had just believed me. How different would I be? How different would my siblings be? The mental warfare that we experienced was worse than anything. She would say things like, you better clean up your room before your dad get here and kick you downstairs. Like, my dad has never even expressed violence like that to me. When I tell you guys that I was raised off of fear and not respect, like, these are the things that I'm talking about. Telling the truth is an act of love. And I would argue that you probably love her the most, I feel, because you're willing to have a conversation with her. And it's like, you can't even get those, can't even see that. Everything about it is sad. A huge part of me has tried to give my mom grace, because I don't know what happened to her in her childhood. I don't know if some of the things that I experienced mirror what she's experienced. I don't feel that that's any excuse for her to treat me or my siblings the way that she has. You have to get the help that you need so that you can be a better woman and wife and mother. You always used to look so, like, larger than life to me. I don't want anything from you anymore. Because you're like so much of my mom, and I have no idea. I feel like it's as a whole, you have to learn how to feel yourself. And it's like, I love my mom, and I, like, hate who she is. And I hate that I can't, like, let her into my heart in that way. It's, like, surreal. Like, I am witnessing what my mother and I just went through with Jackie and Chantel.
I can feel her pain. And there is no winning with toxic mothers because it's not about them having some epiphany and being the mommy that you always wanted them to be. They are ready to die by the lie, and it's heartbreaking.
Bitch, this is Basketball Wives. Okay? This is not a Y'all Fix My Life. This is Basketball Wives. And from the beginning of the show, we did not see Chantel having the issue with Jackie. Jackie and Chantel met up in the first episodes where Chantel was saying, I'm grown, I can handle myself. Y'all go back and watch it. And you hear Jackie saying, what's the problem, Banna? We didn't have a problem before you came here. We didn't have, like, we weren't besties or anything like that. We had, every family has issues, and clearly y'all have issues that y'all need to work on. But we both didn't start this season having an issue. Gradually, Chantel created an issue for the sake of TV. You have things you want to heal with your mom. You do. But you're not supposed to do it on this platform. You're supposed to take it to a therapist and fix it. Chantel is full of shit. I'm sorry. This is narcissism 101. You allowed this show, because you were on TV, to capitalize on your family and your issues with your mother. You're not the first person that has mother-daughter problems. It happens. But this is Basketball Wives. This is not a platform for you to heal if that was your intent. I feel like as the season went by and Chantel couldn't think of anything to do or to say, she now starts bringing things up from her past and talking to people who are not your mother's friends, who are not therapists, who are not healers, who are not, let's have a come to Jesus moment. These people were just looking for drama to feed off of, and you gave it to them. So that is why I was eating my plum while this scene was going on. And I still want another plum. Last but not least, I get to Bondi. And I'm a fan of Bondi. I like her. I think that a lot of her opinions and what she spoke of, they have some sense of intelligence into it, to where I've learned some things over the years, that I've seen her clips of her and the things that she said. Her and a couple other viewers I've watched, or a couple other commentators I've watched, are pretty good. So this is one of the few or rare moments where I feel like some parts of what you're saying is incorrect. Chantel is a product of Jackie, but because Chantel is displaying some of the characteristics that Jackie displayed. But the only way that Chantel could have picked up those characteristics, if she was around her mother a significant amount of time, right? So that also needs to be clocked. However, what she said here, I'm gonna just let you listen.
He was provoked. I feel like, so what? I don't care. I don't care. If you really love your kid, there needs to be a moment where you actually are the adult and you accept the fact that they're hurt, and how they're responding is out of pain. And so instead of trying to react to them in the same way, responding with anger and violence, as the elder person, I don't know, maybe it will behoove you to be mature about it at some point. And I feel like y'all not asking for Jackie Christie's 60-year-old ass to act like a grown ass woman at any point is really sad. And that's why there are so many older women that don't gain any real wisdom with their age, because the maturity is never expected. The maturity is never, like, at the end of the day, there should have been some old lady sitting under a tree that said, Jackie, now I know you feel like that child was wrong. And she was. But bitch, you are the reason why. And if you don't do that, you can't expect the person that you barely raised to do better. You have to be the example because you're the mother. You have to put your ego aside and be vulnerable and be emotionally honest, even if it means embarrassing yourself on television, so that your daughter will know that you're willing to make a sacrifice for her. Y'all don't be ready to have those conversations about how actual grown ass people should be showing up for their kids when they fucked up, which means vulnerable, apologetic, honest, not getting caught up and feeling disrespected and all this bullshit. Like, actually be the adult. Like, no, that's too much to expect. I know.
Okay, she said barely raised. How do you know that? How do you know that? Chantel is 31 years old. Were you in that house from the moment that Jackie conceived her, to see what Jackie may or may not have done as a mother? I get what her children are saying, but I have negative memories about my parents as much as I have good memories. And I have things that my parents did that I would say, oh, I would never do to my kids. And I guarantee you, with my children, they're going to have things that they're not going to want to do that I'm doing, right? But my kids have a roof over their head. I feed them. I make sure that they get a good education. I teach them the values that I know to be right. And I'm doing the best that I can. Who's to say that some of the decisions that Jackie made, not all of them, because there's some that I heard I was like, this is just bad. There's no reason for you to be calling your daughter fat and having her on the treadmill and light skin is the right skin and dark skin and you're pretty. There's no reason for all that. But who are you to say that she didn't raise Chantel? Because I'm seeing Chantel do what Jackie does. That meant that Chantel was around her mother enough times for her to have taken care of her to a certain some kind of capacity. What she just said, Bondi said, is egregious. Like just the same way as Brittany calling her go deadbeat, go deadbeat, go. I do feel like as much as Jackie may have made mistakes as a mother and everybody knows that she fucked up as a mother, I think in Jackie's head, I could be wrong. Jackie feels like I provided a wealthy life for my kids. My kids lived a privileged life. We were rich. My husband was a basketball player. We had money. I have businesses. I'm on this show. We weren't broke. I gave them what I didn't have as a child growing up. I don't know what they're complaining of. My mom was in the house, or grandma was in the house. I don't know if it was her mom or her husband's mom. We had a big mansion or a big home. We had food in the home. You had privileged education. You now married a basketball player yourself. You ain't broke. You're now on the same platform I got on because we all had to audition for Basketball Wives. I got on the show. Now you're on. What did I do that's so bad for you to now come and do this? Number two, the whole conversation of, even though Chantel was wrong, Jackie should be the adult. Excuse me? Jackie took several disrespectful behavior from Chantel, and it was blatantly disrespectful. It was so disrespectful. And Jackie took it off of her, considering that Chantel is in pain. She just took it and took it and took. We were in episode 11, right before the finale, till she put her hands on her. And from what I read from even Chantel's comment, Jackie touched her arm. She pushed her mom. Let somebody push me. Not even somebody. Somebody on the street can push me and I'll still fuck them up. But let the child that I brought into this world, that I'm twice their age, push me because I touched your arm. I will fuck you up. Thrust your ass into this world. I'm gonna take your ass the fuck out. That's how I feel. Now I'm gonna read you some of the commentary of what people are saying under this little tidbit that Bondi had put online. So somebody wrote, I love Bondi, but I respectfully disagree. And Bondi replied by saying, and that's fine. I feel very strongly about the way people treat children. We are the culmination of our experiences. A lot of mothers see themselves as above reproach and do not agree. How will we ever be better if we keep doing and thinking the same way? But Chantel doesn't want to be treated like a child. She didn't want to be told stay in a child's place. She wants to be an adult, and she's talking to her mother like she's grown, like we're the same age. At one point, do you hold her accountable? Like, if you want me to treat you like a child, then you have to behave like my child. If you're talking to me like you want to square the fuck up, then we can square up. Like, I don't understand, Chantel, which side do you want? You can't be both a villain and a victim. You got to pick a side. Now, another comment that I wondered, and this is the right question. The person says, "Do you have kids?" And she's talking to Bondi, "Do you have kids?" Bondi said, "No. I was responsible and decided not to cause the same trauma I experienced. Any more questions?" And that right there told me something. Only a parent would understand. Same the reason why Ming responded by saying, as a parent, only a parent. Jackie was not the best mother. She was not the perfect mother. She made some fucked up decisions. But let me be clear. I brought you into this world and I did what I could to now you're in on my job, on my show where I started 12 seasons ago and you're talking shit to me. Like, I'm not the reason your ass is here. Are you serious? I'm gonna fuck you up. So let me be clear as a mom. No way. I don't care if I'm 60, 70, 80 years old. I know when my child's gonna talk to me like that. I don't care what mistakes I made. If you want healing from me, then talk to me with respect so we can get that healing because I do love you and I want things to be better. Then we can get there. What Chantel was doing was starting problems and she wanted her mother off the show. That's why she went there and asked people to pick a side. Did you forget that? Or did you think that this is just a girl crying for help when she's telling people not to go, that she don't want to be around her mom? Don't bring her here. Why is she here? You invited her. She needs to go. It needs to be me. Jennifer, pick a side. Are you serious? That's not somebody that wanted help. So I'm going to read Another comment, Chantel is her mother's daughter. Just like Jackie stated, Chantel has been antagonizing her abuser all season long, looking for a reaction. It was very weird to watch. She didn't want conversation. She wanted confrontation. She went about it all wrong this season, and that's why no one is on her side. Hopefully, she sees where she moves wrong because, girl, this was not it. Now, another one said that girl is over 30 years old. She's a very dark soul person. I wouldn't treat a dog the way she treated her mother because you reap what you sow. And dishonoring your mother dishonors you and creates generational curses. Now, Chantel was playing in y'all face this whole season for TV. She wanted to discuss her mother's wound with Jackie on TV. Her approach would have been different. She would have suggested them speak to a therapist on camera. If she was sincere, not try and make the group pick sides. Jackie was like, I'm not playing with my family on TV. That's why she kept walking away. She can play with the other women on the show for TV entertainment, but she didn't want to do that with her daughter. Bondi responded, yeah, I'm not even reading all that because you asking for Chantel to be more mature than her mom, just like I said. You're wrong, Bondi. I'm sorry. You're definitely wrong on this one. I'm sorry. And I think that you're wrong because perhaps you're not a mother. And maybe you can't understand it from that perspective. You did say that you experienced certain things with your own mother that may have been similar to what Brittany's doing, taking out her anger on Jackie for what her own mother did. You might be experiencing the same thing, the same PTSD. That's what that is PTSD. But Jackie and Chantel's situation, you got to look at it from what it is. We're not talking about what Jackie did in the past. We're talking solely on how Chantel behaved on this season. She was dead ass wrong. Anyway, that is the extent of what I wanted to talk about. Anybody else that comes out and says something, unless it's Jackie or Evelyn or somebody of note, I'm not going to speak on it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and notification bell, and go and see the review that I posted so you can actually know what happened in that episode why everybody's talking so much about it.